Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I'd just like to start off by introducing myself. My name's Ertan Karpazlı. I am otherwise known as Kalamuddin, and I'd just like to thank all of those who have been watching my videos on YouTube, the poetry videos, and thanks a lot for the 5-star ratings. Inshallah there should be a lot more to come in the near future. And I'm just going to use this opportunity today to talk about how I got into Islam. Well, I'll start off by telling you that I'm actually a London-born Turkish Cypriot, so you might argue that I was already a Muslim, as Turkish people are culturally Muslim, but I really didn't know what Islam meant. I didn't know what Muslim meant at that time in my childhood. I'll give you an example. When I was in year 1, my school teacher asked me, "Are you a Muslim?" And I said, "No, I'm Turkish," because as far as I was concerned, Muslim was just another Asian country next to Pakistan somewhere. And then another example I can give is when I was about 8 years old, my dad took me to the park, and one of my Pakistani school friends was there, and he was saying the word mashallah, and I said, "Dad, this boy's speaking Turkish," because I really had no idea that Islam was a worldwide religion. And in fact, all I knew was that I believed in Allah and I didn't eat pork. I didn't know why I wasn't eating pork, probably because it didn't taste nice. But that was really all I knew about Islam. I mean, I went to the masjid like once or twice a year for Eid. That was if my dad felt like taking me. In fact, I went a few years without even stepping foot into a mosque. I don't even think I heard of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam till I was about 12 years old, and that was from my non-Muslim religious studies teacher in secondary school. And as a teenager, I was probably like any other teenager. I used to be into a lot of rock music, rap music, a lot of that kind of stuff. I was very antisocial. I used to lock myself in my bedroom like all day just listening to this garbage. And I used to drink quite a bit to escape from the depression of being bullied. And I also had a lot of family problems as well at the time. My parents, they got divorced, and then my mum got remarried, which didn't go too well with my dad. And I'm not going to go into that too much, but consequently my grades at school started to slip, and I really started to lose hope of being able to fulfill my dreams of becoming a big major hip hop star, living my life like you see in MTV Cribs. But you know, I used to seek refuge in poetry. I've thrown most of that stuff away now because it was just really pointless. But also about the same age, I got a big wake-up call into Islam, and that was through the 9/11 attacks, and those unfortunate incidents set off a huge wave of Islamophobia. A lot of people were blaming the religion of Islam before even looking into it, but I wasn't having any of that. I knew that if I wanted to judge this religion, I had to go to its source, which was the Holy Quran. But unfortunately, at that time, I didn't have anybody to teach me about Islam. I didn't have anybody to guide me to stores where I could buy the Quran or be giving the Quran. But I started fasting at around that age. I used to skip the odd day, and I had a girlfriend at the time when I was 17, and we used to go off and break fast to get together. It was quite sweet, but it was really going against the whole point of fasting. Really, I think I was just doing it to lose weight, to be honest. But one day I was walking down Walthamstow Market, and in fact I used to walk down that way nearly every day. But it was on this particular day I heard a very strange, melodious male voice coming from one particular store, and it was actually the Quran being recited, but I didn't know what it was at the time. But one day I was just walking past, and something just told me to go inside, check it out. And I realised it was an Islamic bookstore called Darul Salam, which is still there next to the old library down Walthamstow Market. And that's where I purchased my first Quran. I was reading the Quran nearly every night, half an hour, and I just can't explain the feeling that I got from reading it. Really, is something you have to experience from yourself. All I can say is it's amazing. When the truth hits you, you just know it. And if you really want to know what it feels like, that's the best I can do to explain it to you. The best way is to go to the bookstore. I told you about it. Go buy a Quran and check it out for yourself. Really, that's the best I can say to you about that. But once I finished reading the Quran, I realized that it's not a book that we just read about and talk about. It's a book that we have to practice in our everyday life every single day. So I started to pray once a day, then twice a day, 3 times a day, etc. I didn't even know how to pray properly, and at first it was very difficult finding the time. But once your faith increases, you realize that you actually have to make the time to pray, and you do it because there is nothing more important than praying on time. Socially, it did have an impact on me, because for a while I was living a double life. At home I was very religious, praying and fasting and all of that. But in my public life, I was still the same old Tankar Puzzly. Really, I was just going out with my friends, drinking and chasing the girls and stuff like that. It hadn't affected me socially yet, but then one day I realized that I couldn't live this double life. It was either one or the other. So I chose Islam, and that was very difficult to begin with, because I was quite lonely for a few months. I had to distance myself from a lot of my friends who were having a bad influence on me, and after a few months, alhamdulillah, Allah introduced me to a few good Muslim brothers, and they helped me to increase my faith. And my family have and still has objections against me becoming religious. That can be very difficult at times, especially